I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
All's my life I has to fight, nigga. All's my life hard times like yeah, bad trips like yeah. Nazareth, I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. 1 Mac 11, even boom with the bass down. Scheming, now let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. With pretty pussy and Benjamin is the highlight. Now tell my mama I love her, but this what I like, Lord knows. 20 of them in my Chevy, tell them all to come and get me. Reaping everything I sow, so my karma come in heaven. No preliminary hearings on my record. I'm a motherfucking gangster in silence for the record. Tell the world I know it's too late. Boys and girls, I think I've gone great. Trying to side my faces all day. Won't you please believe when I say, when you know we been hurt, been down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
What you want? You a house, you a car, 40 acres and a mule, a piano, a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy, I'm your dog. Motherfucker, you can live at the mall. I can see the evil, I can tell it, I know it's illegal. I don't think about it, I deposit every other zero. Thinking of my partner, put the candy, painting on a Rico. Digging in my pocket, in a profit, big enough to feed you every day. My logic, get another dollar just to keep you in the presence of your Chico. I don't talk about it, be about it, every day I sequel. If I got it, then you know you got it, heaven I can reach you. Pet dog, my dog, that's all. Big back and chat, I trap the back for y'all. I rap, I black on tracks, so rest assured. My rights, my wrongs, I right till I'm right with God. When you know, we been hurt, been down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
I keep my head up high, I cross my heart and hope to die. Love me is complicated, too afraid of my changes. I'm alright.
Salute, 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 and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, we're in deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have to cover this story here tonight because one of the things that really, it really bothers my spirit when I see young black men or women expire before their time here on this planet. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when they're in the prime of their lives, in their early 20s, I want all of our people to live as long as possible, okay? But one of the things I want first and foremost is for the young people to at least to get to the age I'm at now, okay, before they leave this mortal coil, okay? And see, tonight, we're going to cover this particular subject matter here from a standpoint of being a lesson and a reminder, and we're going to talk about how to prevent ourselves from becoming victims of what I'm just going to call it, what we all know this is, white supremacist terrorism. That's exactly what this is. I remember down here in Georgia and several other places across the country, y'all remember a couple years back when they just kept finding black folks hung and it's nooses around their necks. Now, we all know, family, especially those of us that are foundational Black American freedmen, and non-FBA black folks, okay? We all know that if our people are going to unalive themselves, they do not do it with no damn rope or anything of that sort. We just don't do that. And see, let me say something else before we get into this tonight. So I'm going to repeat this again throughout the broadcast. One of the things that my family knows about me, no matter what happens, no matter what I've dealt with or what I'm going through, whatever I deal with in life, you need to say this to your family members. I know this is a morbid subject, what I'm about to say here, but you need to say it often to the point that your family that knows you best will be like, if something happens to him, I know damn well he didn't take his own life, okay, or her own life, all right? See, that's something right there. Anything happened to me, my family already know, oh, no, not him. All the shit he done survived in his life, you think he gonna take? No, my family ain't having it, okay? They already know. They're like, nah. This bullshit don't make no sense, okay? Brother don't have no drug habit. I'm not no raging alcoholic or none of this other goofy stuff, all right? So you need to, from time to time, hey, just make sure, especially if you're doing certain things, you need to make sure your family know, hey, look, something happened. I didn't do anything to myself, okay? So I know that's morbid, but I think that's something that all black folks need to discuss, all right? And let your family members know, hey, I'm not a person that thinks about it, okay? Now, unfortunately, some of our people in the community have had those thoughts, and I say try to get yourself some professional help, and hopefully you have a strong family to help you through those times. If you're a person that, that applies to, because I get it, everybody goes through different things and situations in life. And for those people, I will tell you this, make sure that you do your best to keep these words that I'm about to say in your head, okay? If you're a type of person that do have those types of thoughts, know that each day that you wake up and draw breath, that's another day that you got to deal with whatever problem you got and solve it, okay? And always try to think about, if you make that decision, think about the people that you're going to leave behind and how that'll hurt them most. So we all know for a fact, though, that this brother Javion Macgee did not take his own life. And see, one of the things I try to do with my platform is be a voice for the voiceless in our community. And that brother cannot speak for himself, but brother Javion, we going to speak for you, brother. We going to speak for you here tonight. And I want to say condolences out to his family. Okay, that's something, man, that nobody should ever have to experience. No parent should ever have to experience burying their loved one, their child especially, okay? They shouldn't have to experience that. So we're going to discuss several things over here tonight dealing with this brother's tragic, untimely murder, okay? Because I'm going to call it what it is. So with that said, let me scroll up and greet my esteemed guests in here, see who I see joining us here tonight. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear too, ladies and gentlemen. If there are any problems with the audio, let me know. We'll get that adjusted. I see the brother Tony in here. I see a little country lamb in here. Silla T, what's going on? My good brother Project Leroy, to stay woke in the building. I see Swoozy 22 in here. I see the good sister Mrs. L in here. I see Black Truth United. I see Patricia Jenkins, the brilliant librarian. Domsky Arcades in here. Let's see, I see the good sister Tanisha Murdoch, my good brother Lee Holmes. Sakina, what's going on, sister? I see Michael Williams in here, Sandra Evans in here, Kevin Blackwell, Panther Strike, Derek Parker's in here. Let's see, make sure I don't miss anybody. Seven Skills in here. My good brother AK Sour God is in here. I see you. David M. Thornton in here. Salute to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, I see the good brother Hot One in here. Only Pamela's Way. My good brother Charlie X and the good brother Nightfall Droppers joining us. So with that said, family, we're going to do something a bit different here tonight. I usually play something that, will lighten the mood a little bit. But in tonight's broadcast, in keeping in line with the subject matter of self-defense for Black folks, we're going to do something a little bit different here. So before we get into tonight's lesson, I'm going to put something on your minds that, hey, I recommend this for all of you. I hadn't shown this on the channel quite some time, but we're going to show it here tonight because I'm like this. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, okay? Don't look for trouble, but you should always be ready for it.
Gorillas, rock choppers, and drug figures. We bust shots and slugs on hot blocks with thug figures. I'm done talking, I come walking, short stalking. If it's beef, I shine in the dog and I keep my gun sparking. What is the dirty? We young figures, blood pickers. We don't stunt in front with ya. We hunt and come hit ya. Yeah, like Craig me and Spear Mob, run this. We go toe to toe and in the world and tell them Sean done this. They got me laughing and joking, pistol blasting and smoking, mashing, asking for action while they gagging and choking. Yeah, it's real, boy. Them beer boy be thug line. You best watch your feet on the mat and step into the southern high. Slick from beer goers and tight clothes. Hair weaving micros. Beer boys and smoke bar. Weak bodies, bow ties. Quick rain and flip flop. Dank stankin' and zip lock. Stitches get stitches, finding niches with lips locked. We filthy boy, we nasty boy, we dirty. You beef with we, you be deceased. You heard me? Cotton pickers and rotten figures, we taking over. We fear boys, we soldiers, represent Georgia.
The dud, boy, it's real in your feel. It's the dud, the dud, the filthy, nasty, the dud, the dud, boy, it's real in the field. It's the dud, the filthy, nasty,
Benny Ballers, they zoomed out like that low down, nasty, filthy fella from the field. Dedicated to Southern housing, it better make a meal. The Southern way, no other way, there's no better way to live. By Chevrolet, so they will. White team need to go real. Touch the chrome for your station to bong. Put the bass in the drum while you're blazing the gun. It's too dirty, ain't no bass in this bong. Represent the place where you from, the gritty Benny player. Suburban's on 20s player. Clean me with a grinning player. Golden reds, bald heads, face, frozen black. With watermelon, pecan, and peaches.
Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. That is the U-235 Armory M22 combat shotgun, and I will never recommend any type of Second Amendment protection that I myself don't own or, have not used. Trust me, that is a workhorse of a shotgun, and it will get the job done. And I'm going to tell you right now, should anybody be stupid enough to try a home invasion or anything of that nature, just know that that also is a type of combat shotgun that features the drum attachment option. So, hey, I'll tell you something right now. You'll give them plenty of reasons in the shelled variety to change their mind and get them some other business to do, okay? You can send them, since they might not have been religious when they came to your door, but you'll be able to preach the good word to them and baptize their ass and send them to me, Jesus, okay? Either way, you'll be doing the Lord's work, okay? Protect yourself and your family at all times. I got jokes, but I'm serious about that. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do here tonight, I want to take the time to say this before we get into tonight's lesson. A lot of people in Black America, okay, especially non-FBA people, but we also have to face this fact. And if you're a Black parent in here listening to this, I don't care whether you're FBA or non-FBA, you're going to get something from this tonight, and please do heed my words. And I say this to you, even if you don't like this channel, if you don't like me, don't care about that. I want you to live, though, okay? It's not necessary for you to like me for you to continue living. So you're going to get something out of this as well. For the people that are, I can't stand them. Don't care about that. I still want you to continue breathing. Listen to me. We have to make sure that our young people understand that, yes, society has changed, all right, as far as like social norms, technology has advanced, but there's one constant in America with black people. One constant. We live in a system of white supremacy, okay? I get it. It can be very deceptive for younger people because they're looking at it. You got to face facts. This is the most integrated generation we've ever had. And they're thinking about, well, hey, you know, I get along with my friends of all different nationalities and races, what have you. I just don't see what you older people are talking about. And then we unfortunately get situations like what happened with our brother Javion McGee, young brother just trying to make a living in skilled trades. He was a truck driver, you know, trying to make a name for himself and, you know, just get established in society. All right. He wasn't breaking the law in any type of way. But see, you have to remind them that just because your friends that you know, you get along with them. All right. Y'all got some of the same interests. That does not speak for the rest of their family members. And you never know who you going to school with that might just have the sentiments of a Dylan Roof, okay? Et cetera, et cetera. I'll be here all night and naming examples of them folks like that. You never know. So you have to remind them of that. And for young black men, especially, the women too, but for young black men especially, this is one of the things that as a father, you need to make sure you tell your son. Yes, as men, we don't walk around in constant fear. We don't fear the things that women fear in society because I don't care who you are. The one thing that's probably never crossed your mind as a man, you walking across a parking lot or somewhere at night, you ain't never thinking, okay, some guy's going to assault me and hold me down and force themselves on me. Okay, most of us are not running around thinking about that. Nonetheless, there are dangers in society for both men and women. So my message to you brothers out here, you young brothers, I understand what it's like to be a young black man. When you in your prime, you feel invincible. You feel pretty much prepared for anything. You probably got some skills about yourself as far as your hands. Some of you may have skills with them feet. Okay, I had both in my younger years and still do now. But see, you also have to keep in mind that today's world, especially keeping in mind that we live in a system of white supremacy, there's people out here that hate you simply for existing. There's people out here that hated you before you exited your mother's womb. You understand? There are people out here that hate you so much. And when we talking about hate, I need to put this in the proper context before I give you this reminder here tonight. When I say hate, I'm not talking about the hate that we might feel towards one another, a black person in the community you have an issue or problem with. Oh, no, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of genocidal hatred that looks at you, not even as a human being, because let's be clear, most of the black people in the community that we have had issue with or fallen out with, might have come to blows with or what have you. You don't hate them in the terms that you don't think of them as less than a human being. For the most part, I'm not talking about they did you some egregious harm or something like that. I'm talking about just for minor things or that somebody like, man, I don't fool with him or her, et cetera, et cetera. The hatred I'm talking about is somebody looking at you as less than human. In fact, they look at you as the same way you would look at whatever type of parasite that you despise the most, to be exterminated. That's how white supremacists see us, okay? You better understand what I'm telling you. I don't care if you're a young black man or a woman. Yes, I'm a Gen Xer, I'm an older guy, but I'm telling you this out of love because you are the future of our people. And look, I'm going to tell you like this. Let me say this to you young people that might be listening to this broadcast. I really wish that I was just the old Negro that was paranoid and y'all could make little jokes about me or what have you. Like, look at him. He always talking that stuff. Don't none of that ever happen. I wish I was that. I wish that was the case. That would make me very happy. I would be glad if that was the case, but unfortunately it is not, okay? And I'm going to show you some recent examples to try to remind you young brothers and sisters of that. Because see, when it comes to those of you out here that are younger people, the first thing is the job of your parents to impart this type of information to you. The second thing is you must take that information in. And I'm not telling you to walk around afraid in a fish bowl and just hold up the deal. No, I'm going to tell you to be prepared. Okay, especially if you in your 20s, hopefully your parents have taken it upon themselves to make sure you understand how to use your Second Amendment rights. Then amongst each other, you have to watch out for each other, okay? See, let me tell you something. This should apply to most foundational Black Americans across the country. Okay. I can't speak for the non-FBA folks. Y'all have to speak for yourselves. But I know in my culture, especially here in the South, I remember coming up, I had friends of all different nationalities, still do to this day. But as a child, that, hey, my parents didn't play me going off with them folks or whatever that. Nah, they could come over here, but you can't go over there with them like that. And you the only Black kid? Oh, no. At the time, you could probably remember being mad. You probably didn't understand it. But as time went by, okay, and you start to see more and more things, it started to make sense. So that's a rule of thumb here in the South. Now, where does that come into dealing with people that are young adults? Well, for you that are young adults, here's what this comes in at. You have to be the ones that say, hey, man, look, I get it. David and Tiffany are cool. We've been knowing them since high school. But look, man, it's going to be most of the white folks over here. I don't know, man. Unless we go in here deep with them, nah, it shouldn't be no 2 or 3 of us alone with them nowhere, okay? That's how y'all need to think out here. You have to watch out for each other. And if you are going to do that, you have to have some type of system amongst your friends like, hey, man, if I call you XYZ, pull up, I'm going to be over here. Y'all come get me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to need some backup. You got to think like that, okay? You must be proactive about protecting each other out here, okay? Now, those of us that are in my age range, if you're around us, we're going to make sure you good, but you're not going to always be around us, okay? You're not going to be always around that family member in the family that you got, your uncle, cousin, what have you, that don't play the radio about you. You're going to have to be out here in this world on your own, so you need to be aware of the danger. And that's the first step. You can't defend yourself if you're not properly educated on what these threats are. And you must not take these things lightly, okay? Because unfortunately, as we're about to see here, you know, and I'm not saying this brother did anything wrong. Okay, I don't know what his family taught him, but there's a term we used to use in the military, and I don't care what branch you're in, you're going to know this term I'm about to use. It's called situational awareness, okay? See, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you young Black men before I show you something here tonight. If you a trucker, especially, and I got truck drivers in here, okay? I don't know if my brother Diesel Mike is in the building, but he'll tell you. I've got family members that are truck drivers. Let me tell you something. As a man, when you out here on the road, especially by yourself, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who you are. You carry that Second Amendment protection with you. You carry more than one, okay? You need to have gone over strategies about, okay, if XYZ come my way, how am I going to deal with this, okay? The places that you're going, especially for truck drivers, this is a necessity. The places that you're going out here, especially if you cross country or wherever you're going, you need to have some Black acquaintances in that area that before you get there, hey, man, I got to run. I'm finna make, I'm heading through your way. Yo, I'm just, touching base with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Letting you know I'm going to be in town. You know what I'm saying? And for the women, too, because we got some women that's truck drivers. You need to have some type of system set up so that, okay, if you get to this place, you got some Black folks around that area that, hey, okay. You know what I'm saying? So that comes over time as you're making your runs, but I'm just giving you some things that you should do out here to be safe on these roads, man. All right? Because when you go to these little one-horse towns, man, and see a lot of people be forgetting that even when you go to places like North Carolina, it's not South, but the culture is Southern, okay? Let's be clear. The 3-2 Tony types that you hear me talking about, they up there too. Now, Henderson, North Carolina, where his brother was murdered at, that's predominantly Black, but still they be roaming around, man. They be roaming around little areas and towns where it look like, okay, it's kind of like ducked off somewhere. You be like, okay, if I have to pull over here, let me go ahead and put that thing on my hip real quick, all right? Because look, let me tell you something. That Second Amendment deterrent, let me go ahead and be blunt. A lot of times when them cowardly folks try to run up on you, it's either going to be because they got greater numbers or it's going to be because they feel like they're armed. So a lot of times, let's just say in the event that they're not armed, they're like, we're going to get us one. And they go to run up on you and you start seeing something look funny. I like, all right, sometimes you might just have to pull that thing to the side and they go, oh, shit, he got Roscoe on him, boy. That's what we call it back in the old, the Roscoe, all right? You know what I'm saying? That's an old Southern term for it. And every region got their terms, man. I can name several. Y'all be busting out laughing, but you know what I'm saying? That wig splitter, whatever you want to call it, that iron, whatever you want to call it, They see you got that, they'll be like, okay, now we might need to try somebody else. All right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know that, you know, as a man, you must be aware of your surroundings. For you women, it goes double for you, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you a sister that's out here, you a truck driver on these roads by yourself, and you better not be rolling your little ass around out here with no type of protection. I don't care if you get mad at me and call me misogynist, gender, whatever you want to call me. You can call me all of that. I still want you safe, and I want you to be alive, okay? So, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm the type of brother, and there's sisters that will tell you this. Even if I'm just cool with you, I'm going to encourage you that, hey, you know, you ever thought about, you know, getting Second Amendment trained? You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to get you to do it. I am, and at the very least, I'm going to be like, hey, keep a blade on you or something, okay? I mean, you got to have some type of protection, and in conjunction with that, you need to make sure, like I discussed earlier, you need to have some type of communication network in order with people in these areas that you're going towards, all right? So with that said, because we're going to touch further on solutions and things we can do to protect ourselves from things like this happening to us. And before I even get into this, rather, I want to say one last thing. Because I know we do it here in the South, okay? And I'm pretty sure most foundational Black American freedmen brothers and sisters have this mentality as well. Because, like, you know, with our brother Jordan Neely that was murdered by that damn coward Daniel Penny, let me tell you something. If you somewhere and you see something happening to a Black person, I'm going to tell you right now, man, down here, them folks know that, hey, all right, you better make sure ain't none of us around, because we coming. Look, I'm going to tell you right now how serious I take that. There could be people that, as long as they've done me, they hadn't cost me blood or money, there could be people that I really don't care for, don't get along with in the community. If I see them folks hearing up on you like that, oh, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, nah, I'm probably going to curse you out later in there. If, you know, we might have to trade some blow, but I'm coming. I ain't going to let them do nothing to you. I've already told y'all. Some of y'all might despise me for this. I don't care if it was Sexy or Sexy Red, Glorilla, Suki Hunter. Hell, I'm going to really shock you now. I don't care if it was Candace Owens. That's right. You heard me. I don't care if it was Candace Owens. As much as I can't stand her viewpoints, and as much as I would never trust her, if that happened right in front of me, there's a bunch of them for nah, she ain't LBA. She's one of the biggest coons it is, but nope, you're not going to do that in front of me now, because it's not even about her or someone like that. At that point, that's another Black person, okay? That's how strongly I take that. That's my upbringing. All right? Now, like I said, for the Candace Owens, I'm probably going to curse your ass out later and make sure you know it was a foundational Black American that saved your little cooning ass, but I ain't going to sit there and watch them folks do that to you. Okay, so I hope that all of my people have that mentality nationwide. We got to protect each other, man. Look, I'd rather you be somebody I don't get along with, and I come to your rescue and get you out of that situation, and you be allowed for us to continue whatever problem we got or work it out, okay? So that's just where I feel with that. But I'm going to give y'all a gruesome reminder that white supremacist terrorism is still targeting us, as the broadcast title says. And I'm going to play this without interruption. I want y'all to absorb both of these things. So this would be a reminder to you to be on your P's and Q's out here, especially if you're a young Black person. Let's get started.
Tonight, boys, we're going to kill us a Negro.
And will you be at Saturday's rally?
More than likely. We'll see how things go. Call for rain, but we'll see what happens. Called for rain today, but we still was out there. The Ku Klux Klan is like the postal service. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow, we're going to be out there. Ain't no rain going to stop me. So I'm going to be out there.
And that's how you do it. Prepare a crowd.
We're going to kill us a Negro.
All right. This is the KKK.
The video shows a Cobb County, Georgia police officer talking to a woman in a car he pulled over on a traffic stop. She's unwilling to move her hands, afraid, she says, of getting shot, and he tells her, don't worry.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen any white people get killed?
Though it happened a year ago, the video is just now coming to light. The officer, Lieutenant Greg Abbott, has been on the force nearly 30 years. His lawyer says he was, quote, trying to gain compliance by using the passenger's own statements. But the county's new police chief said today that what happened was unacceptable.
I don't know what's in his heart, but I certainly know what came out of his mouth. The recommendation is to terminate his employment from the Cobb County Police Department.
The date stamp on the video, July 10th, 2016.
Hey,
with me.
Just 4 days after cell phone video went viral showing the moments after a white policeman killed a black driver, Philando Castile, in Minnesota. As shocking as the Georgia video is,
Remember, we only kill black people.
leaders of the black community in the county say the chief's decisive action is reassuring.
We have hope here in Cobb that we have a chief and leadership that is serious about bringing this department to be one of the better ones in the nation.
The police chief says the community and his own officers expected an appropriate response. Pete Williams, NBC News.
All right, family. So I wanted to play those two things as a reminder that this is present day that we're still dealing with this type of white supremacist terrorism. Now, regarding the first one, and salute to the good sister, Sakina Collins, for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good sister. Regarding the first one, I want to say this yet again because I don't say it often enough. I don't think, it's been a while since I've said it, but there's a misconception going around. A lot of people tend to say, well, the KKK, that was a thing of the past. And I'm like, nah, you have lost your damn mind if you think down here in the South is a thing of the past. Oh, no, there's many different splinter branches of the Ku Klux Klan and many different white supremacist groups. But the oldest one, the oldest known white supremacist domestic terrorist organization in America is still alive and well down here. So you got to understand something. There's an old saying called mutatis mutandis, okay? Everything changes. I've often said this, hadn't said this in a while. Y'all gonna recognize this from my day ones. Jim Crow didn't die. He just had grandkids and taught them how to change clothes. You better understand that the modern day iteration of the Klan, you could be sitting right next to them and not know it. I'm telling you right now, we already know they go get the race soldier jobs, but you better understand that they are in the medical field, every facet of society that you can name. They're in these different branches, okay? Now, the ones that you saw out there in the woods, don't you know they got jobs? Oh, they're not a bunch of unemployed bums. Oh, they are well funded. And look, let me tell you something. A lot of them have political connections too, because see, here's the thing about that. They can't get away with the things that they do if they didn't have some type of power backing them. So you got to understand that. The way we just going to use the Ku Klux Klan as an example, talking about all white supremacist organizations here in America. The way they operate today, you got to understand, you got the grunts, the ones that's too stupid to run for political office or would not be as charismatic enough to handle that. Then you got the ones that are, they'll say, okay, this is your job. You get up here and run for Congress, mayor, Senate, president, okay? Whatever you trying to do, you go that route and we'll stay over here. And when it's time for us to come together, hey, we got channels that we send messages through. And if something need to be done, we'll take care of it. Okay, that's the modern day iteration of the Klan. And as you saw, they're not running around with hoods and sheets and stuff like that no more most of the time, okay? Most of the time. They save that stuff for their ceremonial get-togethers out in these deep woods and shit, okay? But if they're in public, nah, you saw what type of uniforms they have, okay? And that's just one version of it, all right? Then I showed you here in 2016 what happened when there was a race soldier here in Georgia, which is why you always hear me saying that they call it the dirty South for a reason, talking about we only kill black people, saying that to another white woman because, two white folks are supposed to be on the same page. And she was terrified because she knows that her own people, hey, you heard what she told them. She's like, well, look, no, I hear you saying that, but hey, you know what I'm saying? You're still a race soldier. They don't want them jobs. That's considered the equivalent of being a trash man in white society. They all that back to blue and all that. They don't respect the cops unless they running down on black people. Okay, that's a job where if you getting that job in white America, they know what I'm saying is the truth. I don't probably gonna be listening to this. If you get that job in white America, they're like, yeah, you one of the stupid ones. That's about the best you could do. Okay, and they're gonna take that rage out on those of us in black America if they get the opportunity to. All right. So I just wanted to show that for any younger person that's tuned into this broadcast over here tonight, because I want you to understand that these are very, very real threats you face out here against people that you hadn't done nothing to. Okay, you probably don't even feel that way toward. And that's the sad thing about it. Most of our black youth, they don't hate nobody, man. They don't. Because one, we wasn't raised in households that taught us to hate anybody. We were raised with precautionary measures to be taken against certain things. Okay, before just teaching you not to be around these folks or you hate them, this, that, the third. No, we weren't taught to hate nobody. most foundational Black Americans, we're not raised in households that taught us to hate people. Okay. And now, see, that's what puts us, unfortunately, at a disadvantage, because you think about the opposite. Whereas we're not raised to hate people, you think about your counterpart that was raised to hate you. And in conjunction with that, okay, you got to hide this in public. But in reality, oh, man, my dad said you a nigger. You ain't even really human. Okay. This is what they think of you. You need to understand that, man, there are very dangerous things hidden beneath the surface of what you might think is a person that you cool with or somebody you figure, you know, you ain't gonna have no problems with. And then there's always this. The people that, you know, are watching you that you've never seen before that might say, you know what, today's the day. We got us one. So that's why I'm saying that you don't need to be the type of person if you have a job, like a truck driver, or I remember the story that I saw, because I need to cover that as well, where that sister was an Uber driver, and you know that I think that white Hispanic dude or whatever killed her. I'm gonna say this right now, and I don't care who gets angry. As a foundational Black American freedman, man, that's a job right there I don't think women should have. I know I'm gonna make some people mad. I got to touch on this. If you're a woman, you shouldn't be having no Uber job unless it's a situation where you got a male passenger that's going to be in that back seat with that thing on her, cameras inside the vehicle. So just in case something go left, like, nah, this ain't going to be one that you just have your way with, okay? I'm sorry, man. It's just certain jobs. I get it, everybody trying to, you know, survive and maintain out here. But I've always felt bad, you know, taxi cab driver, Uber, whatever. Because I'm always looking at it like, okay, if a sister's in this situation, there are some women that can handle themselves, but for the most part, it's just on average that, nah, man, if you dealing with a dude, chances are you ain't going to be able to handle that by yourself unless you got your Second Amendment on you and you are prepared to go ahead and use it, okay? So that's just something right there I'm against. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the rest of you brothers feel about that, but I'd rather you women be mad at me because I'm old school in my thinking and be safe, versus somebody that kiss your ass and tell you that you can do anything a man can do, because you cannot. We can't do anything that you can do, and you can't do anything that we can do, okay? That's just the bottom line. I believe in common sense and safety. So I'm going to touch on that story a little bit later down the line here, okay? But for us tonight, we're going to review what happened to our brother Javion Macgee. Again, condolences to his family, but we're going to be looking at this from the lessons learned and trying to understand what we can do to protect ourselves from these types of things. So here's what I want to show y'all, right? This is one of his relatives that's about to speak. And I'm going to play this, and I want you to listen to what the sister has to say about what happened to her relative.
Hey y'all, I would have never thought I had to make this kind of post on my TikTok, but my family desperately needs your help. This is my little cousin, Javion Macgee. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He was 21 years old and would have been 22 in a few weeks. He was found hanging from a tree in Henderson, North Carolina yesterday. He drove trucks, so that was his reason for even being out there. The police officers are trying to say that he went to Walmart and purchased a rope and hung himself. We obviously don't believe that, and we are just asking for your help to push his story out there. This isn't covered on any local platforms. No news stations, radio, none of that. So we're trying to push it out there. We really need your help. The police officers in the coroner's office are giving us a hard time, not allowing his mom to identify the body. At one point, they told her she can't identify the body due to COVID. And then the next day, today, they told her the father has to give her permission for that, which he said that he would. She asked if they could send her pictures at least. They told her yes, and then turned around and told her, oh, I don't think that you want to see your son like that. Come on. Like, this is just very devastating for my family, and we really need to push this story out there. So if y'all could please repost this video, keep saying his name, Javion Macgee, hashtag justice for Javion, and we are going to fight for him, and we are standing behind my cousin 100%, and they're not getting away with this. So please share this video. Thank you.
So you heard what, you know, the brother's cousin had to say, what have you, and, you know, how they were treating her relative's family and everything. And it's just, man, like I said, that's just something that no parent should have to go through. No black family member should have to go through. But These are the times in which we find ourselves, is why you will always hear this platform advocating for self-defense on all of the platforms that I have over here, whether it's on Patreon. Y'all know we go in-depth over there teaching you all kinds of things that you should know to protect yourselves in self-defense situations, okay? But see, this is from the article right here, and notice how they instead of saying Javion McGee, they got black man found dead against a tree with a rope around his neck in North Carolina. Not a lynching, sheriff says. Now, you know we finna get on this sheriff, because I'm going to have to use some expletives to describe this, because there's no polite way to do it. Of course, there are polite ways to do it, but I have no respect for this damn sheriff. He's what we call down south here a shit eater. That's what he is. Because how in the hell are you going to see what happened to this young brother and say it's not a lynching? No. We know what we saw. And there's only one race of people down here that do that to black folks. Go kill us and then, put a rope around our neck and hang us from a damn tree. All right. Now, let's further discuss before we get into this some of the ways that they could catch you slipping. OK, because, see, I haven't gone into detail about this in quite some time, but we're going to be solution based over here tonight and discussing some of the things you need to look out for as a black man or black woman out here. OK, first and foremost, if you're a sister, you really need to pay attention to this. All right. Not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to put this on your mind of what you should be aware of if you're the type of person that's going to be on these highways and byways out here. And you know that you have to spend some time on these roads by yourself. OK, it's not always optional that you have somebody with you. I get that. But we're going to talk about some of the things you need to look out for. First and foremost, you need to be aware that there are still sundown towns here in America, and they're not all in the South. Oh, there's quite a few up north. OK, well, there's many Vida, Texas-like places. OK, if you don't know anything about Vida, Texas, look up that history. There's many Vida, Texas-like places up north as well. All right. So be aware of that. So that's something that you need to familiarize yourself with. Fact the business. I'm going to tell you a good rule of thumb to use. And I don't know if the brother's listening or if he's in here, but if you're familiar with my good brother, Torian Rain Reloaded, he has a Sundown Town series on his channel. You can go check that out. It's on his playlist. Let me tell you something. If it was a sundown town, it still is today. There's still remnants in that. So that's a good rule of thumb why knowing history is important. So it gives you a navigation standpoint for present day. OK, so that's the first thing. You need to understand the logistics of the terrain that you're in. They may have this kind of hold over history. OK, all right. So that's number one. Number two, let's start talking about, OK, starting with a black man, because first of all, they're going to be looking for soft targets. All right. So if you're a woman, they definitely going to be trying to target you. But if it comes to a man, how can we be soft targets? OK, let's discuss that. Number one, they see you isolated. All right. Number two, if they see you're in an area where it's kind of out the way, out the way from the main places where in a city or a town where it's a lot of people or what have you. So that puts you in the soft target position as a man. So now you're probably thinking, well, GBS, how do they just run up on these brothers and hem them up like that? And then the next thing we know, they end up dead with a rope around their neck. I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people hadn't considered. A couple different things, because, see, you know me. One of the things about me, I'm a retired soldier, combat veteran. I see everything from that lens. OK, I'll never stop seeing it that way. It's one reason why, boy, I'm going to tell you right now, your goofy ass run up on me with that. Yeah, OK. That's going to be the worst thing you've ever done in your life. But see, I'm going to share some of my knowledge with my people here tonight. Couple things. One, this is something that's very, is really kind of skipped over and not talked about a lot. You got to consider things like, okay, chloroform. Let me give you a scenario. Suppose there's a scenario where you in a truck, you stop, all right, you get out, you're doing whatever you need to do with your truck. And then somebody pull over, they're trying to talk to you, asking you for something. They might be asking you for some type of help, this, that, the third, and it's one of them folks. You better position yourself in a way where you can see behind you. Don't, because I mean, hey, they could say, all right, I'm going to go distract them. You come up behind them with this chloroform, or here's something else. They could have something in a needle and grab you and inject you with it, and then now you go out. Or if you don't go out completely, it makes it to the point where your motor functions are disabled enough for them to handle you and do whatever they're going to do. Now, I know this might sound like, brother, you being paranoid. Am I? Am I? Because look, you got to think about how this happens. The average brother, well, I got to be honest. A lot of you young brothers today, y'all are not really, you're not like we were in my generation where we weren't running around here bone thin. We put some weight on us, okay? But nonetheless, whether you got weight on you or not, I just want that knowledge that I'm aware that there's an average weight difference between the way we used to look versus where they look now. A lot of them fitting into the skinny jeans. Not saying that about our brother Javion Macgee, but I'm just saying in general, okay, that's how they will overcome a strong, healthy, vibrant black man is with some type of chemical aid, all right? In addition to having numbers on you or somebody holds you at gunpoint or what have you. Hence why I mentioned having your Second Amendment game together, all right? And being in communication with people. If you do have to make a stop, it's good. Hey, you got your phone with you. Hey, man, I'm over here at XYZ Woot the Woot exit. I just stopped over here, man. I'm probably going to bed down for the night at XYZ Hotel or whatever. Just want to let you know where I'm at. Hey, if you got friends in that area, tell them to come by and kick it for a minute with you. You know what I'm saying? At least give a presence where, okay, if you in these towns like that, they see, okay, yeah, he knows somebody here. It's going to be a bit hard just to run up on them like that, okay? So now, let's discuss something else. I got to go here with you, brothers. I'm going to say it to you, and I believe that my brother Diesel Mike and anybody else that's been a truck driver from a male perspective will back me up on. Y'all know where I'm going, brothers. Leave these goddamn lot lizards alone. If you don't know what a lot lizard is, that's a damn prostitute that hang around truck stops. You don't know what them bitches into, especially the white ones. Look, let me tell you something. Don't you know that in these good old boy areas like that, don't you know that they'll set you up, man? You thinking that, hey, you finna go ahead and slide her $20, $30, whatever you gonna do, and get your rocks off, and now she got bubble rolling up on you. And then caught you in a compromised position that you would be least expecting. See, I'm what you call a tactical thinker, okay? My mind does not shut down. I'm the guy in my family. If we out somewhere, I'm always watching. I'm like, yep, you know what? That right there don't look right. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking, even if I don't say anything. I'm the one that I'll probably catch it before it go down, okay? And be prepared to get my family and my little ones to safety or deal with whatever threat needs to be dealt with. I'm that guy, all right? So what I'm saying is, if you out here on these roads, man, and that's what you got going on, you better think, is that putting you in a compromising position, all right? And I'm not saying that that's what the brother Javion Macgee was doing. I'm talking about scenarios in general that you need to consider that could get you hemmed up out here, all right? For you sisters, there's quite a bit more to it with you because, unfortunately, they're going to look at you as the softer, easier target because you're a woman. They're going to look at you that if you out here and something goes wrong, they know that you're going to be the ones asking for help or what have you. See, this is why call me chauvinist, whatever. Certain jobs I just would rather our sisters not do unless they just had to do it because there's certain things that might happen on the trust that you can't handle by yourself. I'm just saying certain things, you know what I'm saying? So at the very least, you need to have some type of buddy system in these places where you're going. I prefer women have some type of partner with them on the road if optional, okay, if the option is available to you. But, hey, they're going to be looking to get you with some of the same methods that I discussed, all right? And then, bless our sisters' hearts, some of you, not all, but some of you are just overly friendly out here. And especially the younger ones, you be thinking, okay, ain't nobody going to do nothing to me like that. And again, you better think back to what I said at the beginning of the broadcast. There are people out here that hate you just for breathing because you black, okay? That's an ugly reality. I get it. I would rather you be disappointed, angry, frustrated, upset with what I said and heed what I say and continue living, okay? Now, let's talk about some other things. Remember when I said situational awareness? You need to be aware of your environment and what it looks like. You need to talk to other truckers about these different routes out here. Be like, hey, man, you ever made a run at XYZ place? Yo, man, what was that like? What was the climate like? You know what I'm saying? How it looked like they act towards black people. That's something that most truckers should do, but maybe the younger ones don't, do that because we have to understand that across occupations, young people have their own social culture amongst them or what have you. That hey, they be like, all right, that's what the old folks do. we ain't on that, man. You know what I'm saying? But see, when it comes to safety, that's something that I encourage with this particular profession, that you need to combine your knowledge on across generations, okay? So if you're a young person that's a trucker and you're not doing that, you start communicating about these routes. Y'all pass information between each other so that you be like, hey man, if you running through there, make sure you gassed up, drop your load, keep it moving. Don't even stop through there no more than what you got to do. All right, and see, let me tell you another useful thing about the trucking profession. You brothers and sisters out here on these roadways, you can bring information back to us about stuff that the average person that doesn't travel cross country doesn't know. Now, I know most of this country and how things are from one end of it to the other, but I'm just saying in general, share this information with those that you know may not have that type of profession. So just in case they're going through somewhere on a vacation or what have you, now you can give them your expertise and experience about, hey, check this out. XYZ place over here in this town, don't go over there and stay no long time when the sun go down, okay? Just be communicating. We have to protect ourselves. So that's the message I want to give to you here. But we're going to start analyzing this whole situation here. And we're going to analyze some of the news that was being said. And we're going to pick apart certain things that they're discussing here. So we're going to get into this clip, and I want y'all to take notes.
That mysterious death in Vance County, a Chicago man found dead in Henderson, and the case is getting nationwide attention thanks to social media.
Yeah, we're talking about 21-year-old Javion Macgee. He was a truck driver and was found dead on Wednesday with a rope around his neck and leaning against a tree, triggering hundreds to post their suspicions on social media that Macgee was lynched.
Today, the Vance County Sheriff disputed those claims. He is calling it a death investigation. Tom George is in Henderson now. So, Tom, I know that you spoke to the sheriff one-on-one. Walk us through all of this.
I did, Amber and Joel, and this case really blew up overnight. As you mentioned, social media, a TikTok was viewed 3 million times, but also here in the community, people are concerned, but no one more concerned than Javion's family, who feel that they have been left in the dark about what's been going on from thousands of miles away, where they are based out of Chicago and Texas, pushing for answers from the sheriff. I was able to speak with the sheriff a little bit earlier. He is trying to put everything into perspective and urging people not to jump to conclusions. What we know is that Javion Macgee is from suburban Chicago and was in Henderson with his trucking company. He had dropped off a load at the Walmart distribution center off Vanco Mill Road. Investigators say a 911 call came in Wednesday morning, and Javion was found sitting up against a nearby tree outside the fenced area of the center with a rope around his neck. The sheriff says Macgee was identified by a picture and told us he didn't see signs of foul play, but also wouldn't call this a suicide. He did say that there may have been evidence of Javion buying rope from a nearby Walmart prior to this. Sheriff.
Now I'm going to pause it right here because, as you know, as all of you should know by now if you've been tracking this story like most of us in New Black Media, you heard them say the brother was from Chicago. Shout out to my Chicago brothers and sisters up there. Salute to you, good brothers and sisters up there, man. But one of the rules of thumbs I try to follow is this. Anytime I know that I got buddies coming down that's not from around these parts down here, I'm going to make sure you got the game, okay? I'm going to make sure you got the game about where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do. And I'm saying this because we have to get to this standpoint right here. For our brothers and sisters that come down here from other places that have these type of professions, this is what I encourage you to do. If you know you're not familiar with this area, start trying to socialize with other brothers and sisters down here. You need to find where the black spots are, where the blacks are town at. Hey, get to know some people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to start making relationships with certain folks so that, you know, you're not just flying blind when you come down here, okay? Now, let's look at it from a normal standpoint. In a normal world, that brother should be able to go wherever he wants, just doing his job, law-abiding citizen, man, just trying to make money to feed his family, whatever the case he's trying to do, okay? In a normal world, that's the way it should be. But we don't live in a normal country or a normal world. We don't. We live in an anti-black country, okay? That's where we live, all right? So that's something I want to say because, like, it's just like if a brother or sister that's not from certain regions in New York, Chicago, wherever was to go up there, our Chicago brothers and sisters and folks that's in other areas of the country, or if you go out west towards California, they're going to school you and be like, hey, look, this is what we do over here. This is the politics of this particular state. And see, let me say this, particularly to the younger people, because those of us who are older, we get this. even if the politics of a certain area seem silly to you, okay, it doesn't change that that's exactly what the politics of that place are, okay? And I say this, whether you're a person from the north coming down south, or whether we a person from down here going up to where you are or out west or wherever the case may be. It doesn't matter what you think, because as my great-grandfather always taught us, it's like, it's not about where you from, it's about where you at, okay? So you adapt to the politics of that particular area, whatever that culture is, what have you, whatever the social norms of that place are, it would behoove you to go by that, because the people that live there, they know the place better than you. And I've always been that way, no matter where I go in this country or outside of this country. I'm going to listen to the people that live there versus me just visiting or passing through. So I wanted to say that, but listen to what this worthless ass, or I'm trying not to say certain things. Listen to what this worthless coward, I will call him that, is about to say, because see, the way he talking, I'll save my commentary on that until he makes certain statements.
Sheriff Brame today urging people not to jump to conclusions.
There is not a lynching in Vance County. The young man was not dangling from a tree. He was not swinging from a tree. The rope was wrapped around his neck. It was not a noose. It was not a knot in the rope. So therefore, it was not a lynching here in Vance County.
But those explanations...
You hear this mush mouth bastard right here talking about the placement of the rope and how the rope was, so because that means it's not a lynching seat. Let me tell you something, man. Like the old saying says, all skin folk are not kinfolk. Quoting the great Zora Neale Hurston, all skin folk are not kinfolk. This bastard right here is saying that because he's worried about his political career. You know, you may as well call the position he's in a political position. He's worried about that. He don't want to offend the good white folks that helped him out. Because see, I guarantee you that the comments he just made, if you get him talking more, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you listen to this broadcast, start pulling up things and sending it to me, be like, listen to what he was saying. He probably one of them niggas that think you need to find you some good white folks. He don't think white people can do no wrong. Oh, they would never do that. You know, I know what I'm listening to. Because see, let me tell you something. That type of mentality right there, that's not a harmless crime. Do you hear me, brothers and sisters? That is very dangerous. I get them type of Negroes away from me because I understand that I'm in danger if I'm around you. If that's how you think, whether you know better or you don't, that's dangerous for you to be around. You have to cut ties with Negroes like that, okay? Because those would be the people that them folks could say, hey, look, we about to go and kill us 2 or 3 of these Negroes over here. So when it make the news or whatever, you make sure you don't say nothing about it. Yes, a boss. I'm telling you right now, if you think what I said is far-fetched, you better start listening to the way the sheriff is talking, because we're not done analyzing him tonight by sight, okay? But I just wanted to point that out because that's what he sounds like to me. Let's get back to it.
Aren't adding up for Javion's family. A spokesperson for his mom in Texas says she feels the sheriff hasn't been forthcoming with information. And they say this is entirely out of character for Javion. He was always in touch with his family on his long trekking trips, and there were no signs that anything was wrong.
Javion is a loving, funny, good to be around. You know, he never had any disturbing issues or nothing like that. He loved his family. You know, he loved just enjoying himself, and he loved being a truck driver. That was what he loved to do. So it's like everybody is confused right now. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Shout out to the good Dr. Candace Matthews. That sister right there does great work in the community. I mean, you talking about a rider that's on the ground doing the best she can for her people. Candace Matthews is one on. That sister be on it, man. I'm familiar with a lot of work that she has done over the years. But as the sister was saying, you heard he was just, the average brother, young man trying to make a decent living out here. He decided to go into skilled trades to go ahead and get his money out here because we see the dire straits that Jim Crow Joe Biden have this country in now. And younger people are facing much worse economic situations than any generation young person, to be honest with you, in recent times. So the brother can't do nothing but respect him for trying to get out here and make a living, you know what I'm saying, the best he could. And, he chose to go into the truck driving industry. So for all the rhetoric that you hear the white supremacists saying about pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you better understand, young black men and women listening to this broadcast. no matter what you do in this country, they're going to hate you. If you the most hardest working black person, or if you Pookie and Ray Ray out here on the block, they're going to hate you equally regardless. You understand? I'm just putting that out here. They're going to hate you equally regardless, all right? So I want y'all to listen to the rest of the way they're reporting this, because, see, we going to get back on that mush-mouth ass sheriff in a minute here, because, boy, I'm going to tell you right now, I would have respected it more if he would have said, we're examining all different scenarios with this, so I'm not going to rush to judgment as to what I think it may be. I would have respected that more if he would have said that, but no, he jumped straight out there, dude, with this mush mouth ass. Boy, y'all just don't understand. Folks like that, I've said this before. The people that you hear talking like that when it comes to these types of things, these were the people, man, that we really should have made sure didn't leave them plantations with us. I'm telling you right now, just like courage is passed down through lineage and bloodlines, so too is cowardice, okay? And I mean that. Let's get back to it.
A lot of frustration among the family, a lot of unanswered questions. We know that some of his family is making their way to North Carolina right now, hoping to meet with the sheriff themselves. But in the meantime, the sheriff does tell me that Javion is having an autopsy conducted today. He's hoping to get the results of that. Again, he is not comfortable calling this a suicide until he knows an exact cause of death from that autopsy. Of course, we're going to continue pressing the sheriff for more information once that autopsy is conducted and we can release more information. Reporting live in Vance County tonight, Tom George, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
The investigation continues. It's disturbing nonetheless. We'll continue to follow the facts. Tom George in Henderson for us. Tom, thanks.
Okay, so now you heard the reporter there. He said that he's going to wait or he's reluctant to call it suicide. Well, then why aren't you reluctant to call it a lynch? Say it's not a lynching. It seemed like that would go hand in hand to those of us that have common sense. But see, again, I've already given you my conjecture. I think, look, for all we know, man, he trying to help them folks. And they actually told him, you know what I'm saying, what was going on. I got to go there at this point. Because why would you be so quick to come out and say, well, did you not a lynching now? Oh, and then the stupidity of the way he described that. Because the rope wasn't in a certain position or angle, it wasn't a noose. No, man. I mean, but see, you need to understand something. When we go hard in the paint on these Sambos over here and these Sambits in these different political positions, now you see what happens when they're in positions like this sheriff is right here, where something happens to one of us, and instead of trying to help produce justice, they covering up for the people that are the perpetrators of the crimes against us, okay? And I tie him in on the same level as that treacherous California Legislative Black Caucus, okay? I tie him right in with him, all right? Because, see, that same pervasive mentality of the Sambo is treacherous. They don't care nothing about nobody else but themselves, all right? And, see, I'm glad that 2024 has shown us the things it's shown us, even the tragic things, because now I think this year right here is going to forever fundamentally change Black America. And what I mean by that, I mean change us for the better, because now we're going to start to take seriously these traitors amongst us. See, for a long time, and I've been one of the main ones to say this, for a long time, modern contemporary conveniences, all right, modern conveniences have had us in a stagnant state mentally. Okay, you got your entertainment, whether it's concert, for sports games, whatever you into, whatever it is. There's a lot here in the entertainment industry to pacify Black folks, and a lot of us, and there's nothing wrong with entertainment in its proper place. So I'm not saying that you should be a person that run around here like a serious stone all your life. But what I am saying is entertainment, they know that can be weaponized against us, because when you have a people like our people in Black America that's in a state of perpetual pain that's been passed down from generations, they know you're going to have something to cope with that. And if you start coping with something too much, a problem rather, you'll focus more on just treating it instead of solving the problem. You see what I'm saying? At some point, we got to get to solving these issues. Like, okay, what's causing this? We don't need to just treat it. We need to cure it, okay? And when it comes to anti-Black racism and white supremacy, we're the cure for that, okay? Let's be clear about that. We are the cure. As long as we stay focused and don't accept it, like many of the tether class over here does, just accept it and be like, Well, just don't say nothing. See, this is why we don't take lightly to when they be making the N-word jokes around us and, you know, trying to go along and get along, talking about we all one race, the human race. That would be great if everybody else thought that way, but they do not. They absolutely do not. Because if they did, not only would this country treat black folks different, wherever we go in the world, it would be a different story, okay? It would be. Think about it. I don't care what lineage you from, FBA or non-FBA. You would be treated differently in the world if this was just a we all one human race type of society globally. And that's not the case, okay? That's not the case. But see, we're going to get back into the rest of what this goofy sheriff was saying here, because he did another interview. I want y'all to listen to this one. I'm going to stop this one at different points to make certain points here, because see, this type of archetype here of his mindset, I want especially young black people to be aware of this, okay? You know, in new black media states, we tell you have to watch these old niggas, and this is exactly what we talking about right here. This is exactly what we talking about. Let me tell you something, man. I understand he got a job to do as far as investigating, but that jumping out there just immediately saying it's not a lynching, who told you to do that, boy? And I'm going to call him a boy because I can't respect him as a man. Who told you to do that? We're going to get into this, family. You're going to see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen this yet.
You know, first of all, can you just, you know, walk me through what we know, the timetable of when he was found and what we know so far?
Good morning. Yes, this is Sheriff Curtis Brame here in Vance County. On Wednesday, September the 11th, approximately 10:08 a.m., Vance County Sheriff Office received a call out to a rural part of the community, Vanco Mill Road, 285 Vanco Mill Road, where a deceased young man was sitting up against a tree, with his back up against a tree. He had a rope around his neck, and he had the top of the rope was up in the tree limb. There was not a noose. There was not a knot in the rope. We have information that we got that this young man had visited a local Walmart store here in Henderson, where he purchased an item that was possibly used around his neck. It's an open.
Now let me pause it right here, because see, Sheriff Brame, B-R-A-M-E, okay, Sheriff Brame, this idiot, you heard him say it again, because there wasn't a knot in it, so that didn't make it a news. Okay, so let's look at common sense for those of us that actually have functioning minds. They said that the brother was found sitting up against a tree, okay, with part of the rope up in the tree and a rope around his neck. Now, why would any black man go sit up under a damn tree with a rope on his neck? Huh? See, we got to break this down in simple terms, because his little peanut head ass seems to not have good common sense. All right? You damn right that was a news, and other people did that to him, because we don't just, look, as black folks, we don't go outside and just sit up under damn trees like that, okay? That's white folk shit. We don't do that. Especially, and then a younger person and look, think about the younger generation. Okay, very few of them are from that I'm gonna be outside like that in nature generation. So he wouldn't be like, let me just go sit up under a tree. Hell no. And see, a lot of people were talking about, okay, well, GBS, why did he go in there and buy the rope? A lot of truck drivers will tell you this. He probably bought that rope to hold his door shut while he was sleeping. A lot of them will do that, all right, due to the design of truck doors and what have you. You probably bought that. That could be a possible reason, all right, that he bought it. But nonetheless, the whole situation here that's been described about him being up on the tree, this idiot isn't even thinking like, okay, well, you know somebody else had to be responsible for that. Because, see, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the brother pulled over, all right, and he didn't have his doors locked or what have you, fell asleep. They had been watching him. They're like, yep, this is the perfect time to get us one. All right. See, I played that clip at the beginning of this broadcast for a reason, because sometimes you have to really show our people that yes, these people do think that way. This is why you hear me talk about white supremacists the way I do. I understand it. I get it that it sounds like something out of a fantasy movie or what have you, but I have to deal with reality. These people are hunting us any chance they get. Yes, they will. See, the average person will hear me say that. Man, he exaggerated. It ain't like that. Okay. All right. I just hope you, if you're a black person, don't ever get caught slipping if you're thinking that. All right. Because, see, these situations are very real, and they cost our people their lives. if we get caught unawares like that, okay? And see, let me tell you something. I'm gonna go here further because I'm gonna discuss prevention over here tonight throughout this broadcast. In addition to your Second Amendment protection that you have on you, y'all already know I'm an advocate of always having a blade on you, okay? Look, let me tell you something. I keep an assortment of them. I do, because that could be your secondary weapon. Okay, let's just say if for whatever situation they accost you, they done caught you out somewhere where you're not near no help, you got to first prepare your mind to say, okay, this assault that I'm under, the only way I'm going to make it home alive is if I do whatever's necessary for me to get back home alive. No matter how much blood you have to spill, I'm going there with it, okay? Let me tell you something. You keep at least a couple of blades on you just in case that weapon malfunctions or if they happen to disarm you. Now you got a secondary go-to, all right? And see, at that particular time, I know that that's a situation that most people hope you don't find yourself in. And I know most people think that, hey, man, nah, that's not going to happen to me. Let me tell you something. This is my rule of thumb. If you put me in that predicament, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to you to continue living, okay? Even if that means you don't. I mean that, okay? Because at that point, you get whatever you got coming to you. And I know that mentality is a lot harder for some sisters to come across because let's be honest, and for some men, the average person, if you assaulted, the fight or flight response takes over. And a lot of times, instead of the flight, it's the fight. It's the fright response, okay? A lot of people are more afraid to act than they are to act, okay? Let me tell you something. You can control that. You can control that. This is why I'm an advocate for self-defense training amongst our people. I teach people how to defend themselves, okay? So I'm going to tell you right now, if it comes to that situation, you have to first, I know it's easier said than done, but you have to get a measure of calm of yourself over yourself and start acting, start being aware of the proximity of who's assaulting you to you. So, hey, this one, okay, maybe you can grab this one and start choking this joker out, okay, if it's more than one. And, hey, from there, I could go into detail about that, but that might not be YouTube appropriate. I may have to do that on Patreon, but because y'all know how I get down with it. I'm just saying there's tactics that can be used. I'll say that. And if it's a situation where you outnumbered, okay, whether you got your Second Amendment protection or you have to start using the blades. I'm going to tell you something. I'll say it this way, the clean way on YouTube. If you've never done it, start studying the human anatomy, okay? If you've never done it, start studying the human anatomy. Look at the different vital points on it that you will have to target, okay, in order to make somebody change their mind about accosting you. We'll say it that way, okay? There's certain places that, you know, if they were injured to a certain degree that, you know, that would give somebody pause as far as them trying to run up on you. I'll say it that way. So that's something I'm encouraging you to do if you haven't done that yet. Everybody should. And, you know, look, if you're the type of person that is out here and, you know, you have some type of first aid or safety training, just know that training also benefits you when it comes to self-defense, okay? Because just like you're taught to, you know, apply pressure to these areas, or you're taught where, you know, there's vital points that if you're bleeding from here or there that you have to deal with to save a person's life, you can reverse that for the opposite purpose if need be. I'll put it that way. So we're going to finish listening to this mushmouth bastard right here because, see, I'm going to tell you something, man. He don't need to be in office no more. He needs to go just for that comment that he made alone. And hopefully those of you that are in North Carolina, hey, y'all need to get him out of there, man, and replace him with another brother or sister that's going to do the right thing by the community. Because, see, we need to get to a point in Black America where even simple statements like that are made are a reason for us to get you out the way if we have the option. Because, see, let me put this on you before we let this continue. You think about if this was the Jewish community, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm going there. You think about if this was the Jewish community and something happened to one of their people and they had a Jewish sheriff and he started talking as if, oh, just rule out anti-Semitism. That didn't have nothing to do with it. Their whole community would be like, oh, really? Okay, we're going to get you out the paint. Now tell me if I'm wrong about that. Let's let it continue.
An investigation at this time. We're following all the resources and avenue. We're utilizing We found out he was a truck driver after we identified who he was. At first, we had no identity on him because he had no ID on him. And once we identified who he was, we found that the tractor trailer that he was driving was in an adjacent lot from where his body was located. So we contacted his family in Aurora, Illinois. We had the Aurora Police Department go out and contact his family. And once that notification was made, we personally my investigators talked to the family and informed them of the information that and the ongoing investigation, the death investigation of their son, their 21-year-old son, Mr. Magee.
And so at this point, you've seen some of these videos from family members that have out there sort of, questioning whether there could be foul play involved. What's your response to that?
I understand the loss. I feel gratitude, condolences, not gratitude, but condolences go out to the family.
Let me pause this right here because I can understand if what I'm about to say to you all, you say, well, GBS, you might be reaching now, but where are my highly educated, semantically astute people in the chat room? Because I'm going to point out something here, and I think I may be right, but I may be wrong as well. It's just what I think. How many of you know what a Freudian slip is? How many brothers and sisters in the chat room know what a Freudian slip is? Okay, asking this for a reason because I'm finna go somewhere. Did you hear when he said gratitude instead of condolences? Now, first of all, I'm going to tell you why I say that this is a Freudian slip on his part and why I believe it to be. Gratitude and condolences, those two words don't sound alike, nor do they start with the same letters, do they not? Last time I checked now. Last time I checked, unless some things have changed here or there, whatever. As far as in my world, the way I spell both of those words and pronounce them, gratitude, condolences are not the same thing, okay? Why would he say that? I'm finna go somewhere. I know you like, man, you tripping. No. Just hear me. Hear me out. A person who's already thinking one way in their mind, a person that's full of shit or a liar, sometimes... See, because you got to understand, the human mind, your default state is to tell the truth, whether you know that or not. That's your default state. Whenever you start lying, you're going against your natural human nature programming. So now, when you start lying, you got two different things going on in the mind, okay? The mind is, because let's look at it. Y'all probably never thought about it this way. Your mouth is saying one thing, but your mind knows another. You understand? So why would he say gratitude? Who's he grateful for? Because is it a situation where, them folks told him to go and do the XYZ and they'll make sure that he keep his job and everything will be. I'm just saying, we got to look at these things because yes, he's incompetent as hell with his mush mouth ass. But see, I look a little bit deeper than most people do at things. Now, there may be nothing to what I just said at all. Okay. Maybe nothing to what I just said at all. But see, I'm telling you, man, you have to analyze and scrutinize these people when they're in front of these microphones, these cameras, and look at how he's talking about this. He's not talking about it with any type of emotion or any type of heart. To me, I almost see signs of smirks and stuff in his face. And look, let me go here with it. Let me go all the way here. I believe them folks got him there because they know his ass incompetent. Huh? See, when they tell us they're going to give us representation, well, yeah, they'll give it to us as long as it's somebody that's not for the people or somebody that's so damn incompetent that they'll be like, yeah, you got representation, but it ain't going to be nothing that's going to be a benefit to your people or a threat to us. Huh? That's where I'm going with it. Just putting that out there in the ether, man. Y'all tell me if you think I'm reaching out. Let's let it continue.
I never lost a child to the mother and to their loved ones. I never walked in their shoes. But I asked them to slow down, to pump their brakes, to slow that train down that's left the station about the Vance County Sheriff's Office and definitely want to clear that the Henderson Police Department has nothing to do with this investigation whatsoever. This incident is clearly out in the county under the jurisdiction of the sheriff, which is myself and my deputies and investigators. We invited the North Carolina Highway the North Carolina SBI to assist us in the investigation regarding perceptions and get clarity and to be transparent that the Vance County Sheriff Department is not withholding anything and sharing information regarding to the decedent to the family.
Is there an autopsy yet?
An autopsy is being performed today, yes.
Okay. And also, you know, with regard to, you know, the rope maybe possibly being bought at Walmart, would you be able to release that surveillance video?
Once we compile the information that we have, step by step, talking to the district attorney, the local district attorney, and the SBI. We don't want to release too much information too soon because this is an ongoing investigation. And we just ask everybody to be patient and so we can do a thorough investigation.
So if this is an ongoing investigation, I'm going to ask the question yet again. Why are you so quick to rule out that it was a lynching? If it's an ongoing investigation, that means you leave no stone unturned. You mean, hey, at this point, anything could be possible. We don't know. We're not ruling nothing out yet, especially under those circumstances. Huh? I know I can't be the only person over here that has that mindset when it comes to that, huh? So if it's an ongoing investigation and you really want to produce justice and get to the bottom of everything, you would have never made that statement, Sheriff Brain. But see, again, I plead to my North Carolina brothers and sisters. Y'all got any say so, get his ass out of office. He don't need to serve no more whenever his term is up. Or look, if y'all can recall his ass, whatever the case may be, he got to go. We got to start getting these people out of these positions where we can, okay, where we can, because some of them may be in places where it's a predominantly white district and they know they're safe to sit there and keep doing them things, okay? But if they're in a district where it's black folks and you got the opportunity to affect, you know, getting them out of office, this is where your local voting comes into play at, okay? Your local politics, all right? That's where that comes into play. You hear us say that all the time. If you don't do nothing else, be involved in your local politics because, see, you'll have a Sheriff Brame in office next that'll act like he just can't see daylight right in front of his face. Incompetent bastard. Let's let it continue.
To get the proper information out there and ask people to stay off social media and slow down and report the facts. I understand there's over 1,000 hits on TikTok. The sheriff's office not being transparent, not providing information to the family, and that is not true. There's been information put out there that there's a lynching in Vance County. There is not a lynching in Vance County. The young man was not dangling from a tree. He was not swinging from a tree. The rope was wrapped around his neck. It was not a noose. It was not a knot in the rope. So therefore, it was not a lynching here in Vance County.
You hear this idiot? See, I know a coon when I hear one. I can feel it. I'm telling you, family. He's saying because the guy wasn't hanging or dangling from a tree that it's not a lynching. Who's to say that he wasn't and he fell from the tree, okay? Or the rope broke or whatever. Just because he talking about the position of the rope. You damn dummy. Boy, I'm telling you right now, these coons are dangerous. They do not need, look, see, this is my hope for Black America. I want us to get to a point, especially with the local politics, where we find out that you got some coon in you, you don't get to no seat of power if we have a say about it. Because see, if you're a coon, we know them folks gonna put you there. Just like the brother was saying in the chat room about that's Mark Robinson's district. And yes, I saw that situation there with him. I'm gonna get to that in a future broadcast. I saw that because see that bastard right there. Y'all saw when I covered the Republican National Convention when they had all them Sambos out there on that stage. I already gave you my thoughts on Mark Robinson, but this latest crap that he got caught up in, for those of you that don't know, he was on this porn site, and it's him because he used the same handle across all these different sites, damn jackass. And he was up there talking about he's a black Nazi and slavery was justified. Just all kind of foolishness that he was talking about. And that puts him, a black person with that type of mindset, the ones that was up there on that Republican National Convention talking, the ones that looked the other way on anti-black racism in that party just to fit in, those people are dangerous to Black America, man. The same as these bootlicking Democrats over here that look the other way on the things that the Democrat Party do. They're two sides of the same coin. They're just bending over for different masters. That's a conversation for another day. But see, Sheriff Brame did this joker right here, man, and I say sheriff loosely because he's a coward more so than anything that definitely don't represent the interests of our people. And see, for me, him and his tone where he's smirking while he talking to this guy, I'm like, what the fuck is funny, man? This is a tragedy, a murder. You don't even see. Now I got to ask the question, where your family from? I need to know. I wonder where you from. Where's people from? Because see, most of our folks like that, we wouldn't be sitting up here as tone deaf as he is about talking here with his incompetent ass about this situation. You would be somewhat sensitive to the family or what have you, and you definitely wouldn't be talking about, oh no, it's not a lynching. See, if that's what he thinks and he's in a position of law enforcement as a sheriff, you definitely don't need to be in that position. You don't. You don't even need to be responsible for guarding a damn sandbox somewhere. You don't. When something like that is connected to our history, when we the only people in this country where if they murder us like that and there's rope involved, you're damn right that was a lynching. And I'm going to keep saying it because, see, I'm going to stay on this story and see what the outcome is going to be because, see, I'm going to tell you right now, man, this stuff right here that's continuing to happen to us like this and there's no anti-black hate crime bill and you goofy shillbilly Democrats are not pushing the issue, but you always talking about the ski-wee VP and you voting for them. Your Democrat buddies ain't trying to do nothing to prevent this kind of stuff. And that whole crap about, well, we already got a hate crime bill. No, we don't. We don't have what the Asians have with specific language directing it just towards us, saying we get the same. Look, let me go here with it. For the Roland Martin crowd and the rest of them that want to keep saying that, anti-black hate crime bill for us is the same thing that the Asians got. Just take Asian out and put Black American in there. Okay, Freedmen, Foundation of Black American Freedom, whatever you want to use, put that in there for us and take Asian out and give us a hate crime bill with that specific language. Until we get that, we don't have a hate crime bill, okay? Because see, if you even damn near squint wrong at an Asian now, hey, that's a hate crime, buddy. Yelling at one, etc. I mean, y'all seen the stories we've covered over here in these new black media spaces. So this is why we are focused on these types of things right here, because this definitely was a hate crime. I'm just going to call it what it is. All right. And this brother was definitely lynched. It was not no damn suicide. Most young men today, they're not thinking about taking themselves out in the prime of their life like that. They not, especially if they're not on no type of hallucinogenic drugs or stuff like that. Now, if they got them drugs in the picture, that's a different story. Okay. And then it's usually about overdose. It ain't about no damn noose. Going out in the wilderness nowhere and hanging yourself. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, if y'all can, y'all got to get his ass out the paint. He is dangerous.
On the other side of things, do you believe at this point, or can we confidently it was a suicide?
I cannot, without the report, the cause of death from the medical examiner. We're going down every avenue, every aspect, all the information, videos. We got in contact with the trucking company to get his GPS reading of all his whereabouts while he was here in Vance County in the Henderson area. So right now, we don't know exactly the cause of death of this young man. So no, I cannot say it was suicide at this time.
Okay, and also on the other side, can't say foul. How is it being treated? Just as a death investigation?
It's been treated as a death investigation until we rule it out.
Okay. Are there any signs of any foul play?
No, sir, not at this time. No signs of foul play or implication of anyone else involved.
Now, I want y'all to listen to this because, see, if you like me, you're a very, 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 very observant listener, okay? You saying that you're not going to say it's a suicide, but you adamant that it's not a lynching. But then you turn around when the reporter asks you, are there any signs of foul play? Oh, no. Okay, well, how the fuck do you think he got killed? You see what I'm saying? See, look, in case y'all can't tell, your brother has a low tolerance for incompetence and stupidity. I do that, the Lord. Forgive me, that is one of the things. I really don't have a tolerance for stupid people, okay? Stupidity, ignorance, okay? What? I can tolerate some ignorance because if you ignorant in the actual meaning of the word, meaning you just don't know something, you can be educated. But now when people try to educate you and you still remain stuck in your ignorance, at that point you graduate to stupidity, okay? I have a low tolerance for stupidity. I do. Because what you just heard made no sense. You flip-flopping all over the place. A wind just blew him out of his truck and blew him up to a tree somewhere and put a rope around his neck? Makes no damn sense, man. Boy, y'all better get this dude out of office, man. Because, see, I'm going to tell you right now, those of you brothers and sisters that live in that area, I would start looking at everything. Any type of mysterious crime that happened to a black person under his tenure, you better start looking at some stuff. You better, because there's no telling what the hell he involved in. He a little too cavalier about this to me. I smell something else going on with him. Y'all better look through everything about him with a fine-tooth comb and preferably get his ass out of office. Because I'm going to tell you right now, somebody talking like that, it might need to be an investigation into him. I'm going to be honest, man. When I hear you talking this way about something that happened to a young black person, somebody that's supposedly of our lineage, because we don't know where he's from, I got to go here talking like that. For him to speak in such a tone-deaf, cavalier manner, man, it's like, nah, man, something's not right. Something is not right. So anyway, I'm going to tell y'all, man, get this man out of office if it's any way possible. Let's let it continue.
At this time.
You know, and what's your message to the family? I mean, obviously, regardless of what this was, I mean, they're thousands of miles away in Chicago. You get news that, you know, your son is found, you know, near a tree in the middle of North Carolina.
Be patient. Call us 24/7.
Man, do y'all see this? Now, see this, boy. I'm trying to keep my composure here because, see, what I just saw here, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. You see this bastard? He's smiling and laughing, family. What the fuck is funny about that? See, I couldn't be Javion McGee's relative and have caught him doing that. That's about as much as I can say on YouTube because that man, what the fuck is funny? How are you talking about something like this, a tragedy? See, let me go here with this. I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again here tonight. As an older brother in the community, the one thing that I take deadly serious that hits my heart very deeply is anything happening to a young brother or sister, okay? I would not be in a frame of mind to be laughing about this. What the fuck you smirking about? Incompetent bastard. Yeah, see, they chose him to be in position because of what you seeing right here. This joker, I guarantee you, and I've said this before, I wish we really had a way to do this with a lot of these Sambos and Sambets in office that have this particular disposition. But I guarantee you, if you could look back and trace their lineage, they come from a line of cowards and Sambos. I promise you that. I'm telling you, I feel that in my spirit. I do. I just don't understand what's supposed to be funny right here with this particular situation. You talking to the reporter. That just, man, that's beyond me, man.
Vance County Sheriff Office, 252-738-2200. I'm Sheriff Curtis Rain. Call me or one of my investigators. And whether any time of day or night, we will come in, we will meet you here at the Sheriff's Office. I'm sorry that the family wasn't awarded that opportunity to view their son or their loved ones in not a natural circumstance, but in a normal circumstance where someone is deceased and taken to a local hospital. The family are awarded that opportunity to go to the hospital, to the emergency room, or either some other form of fashion so they can view the body and identify the person. This young man was not disfigured in any form or fashion. The picture ID that we took, the picture that we'd taken of him was possibly you could identify as being your child or identify someone who knew that could identify that picture.
So where is he now then?
His body is at the medical examiner's office, being autopsied.
For the autopsy?
Yes, sir.
And do we know when the results of that are going to come in?
Hopefully today we get a preliminary and give us a better understanding of what happened.
And you'll release that right away?
I will share that information with the family first, and then make a decision from the district attorney about sharing it with the press and with the public.
Is there anything else that you mentioned that you've seen out there on social media that you wanted to address or clear the air about?
I do. I just want people to stay out of their rumor mills, stick to the facts, allow us to do our job and be patient and stop saying that the sheriff is not being transparent or that the sheriff is not doing what he's supposed to do. I'm very clear in my duties and my responsibilities and my obligations to the citizens of Vance County and the state of North Carolina.
And do you know who found him or what the circumstances of the call coming in were?
I have not released that information this time, sir.
Okay.
The call came in through 911, so therefore it's recorded, and we'll be able to trace that back, sir.
So we can't say who came upon him?
Not at this time. It's part of the ongoing investigation.
Gotcha. Do we know, the last people who were in contact with him or kind of anything leading up to this?
No, sir, we do not. Other than apparently being at Walmart distribution.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Walmart store.
Okay. And his truck, how far was he from where his truck was parked?
Oh, I said 30 yards, 30, 40 yards from where his truck was in a fenced-in area, and he was on the outside of the fenced-in area where a tree was at.
And you said he was just sitting up against the tree?
Sit with his back up against the tree.
Okay, and the rope was just around his neck?
Yes, sir.
Was it tight?
I did not pay attention personally. I cannot comment on that.
Okay. Any other, anything else on his body? Bruises, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Anything else you want?
And that was Sheriff Brame, North Carolina, that you heard, bootlicking scumbag coward that he is. Because that right there, jumping up and just talking about, for certain it wasn't a lynching, and the way that he said that, no, that's incompetence of the highest order, and that is dangerous to our people. I'm gonna say it one more time, brothers and sisters in North Carolina, get his ass out of office in that particular region up there. If it's any way that you can, he got to go. And hopefully you choose someone from amongst the community that is going to represent the best interests of the people, okay? So, again, I hope this broadcast taught you that today we are still being targeted out here, despite this being the most integrated generation that young people have experienced. But when it comes to protection and prevention, that's up to us. Okay, even when we get an anti-black hate crime bill, that's still going to be up to us to enforce and protect each other, okay? That'll just give us a legal precedent to do so, all right? Because, see, I'm going to leave y'all with this, and this is something I follow myself. When it comes to your self-defense and your deterrence, let me tell you something. You need to keep 3 things on you. Of course, your Second Amendment protection, keep your chemical deterrence, bear mace, pepper spray. I've given y'all some good brands over the years. Like I said, I got a whole list of that kind of stuff on Patreon. All right. Because I can't really go into long form detail about some of that here. And you definitely need to keep you a good blade on you. Okay. Those are the 3 things that you need to keep on your person, especially you moving about in places by yourself. All right. Again, for you sisters that's out here, Uber drivers, you got to have that thing on you. If you don't have somebody that can ride with you in a back seat saying, hey, as security to make sure nothing don't get out of line, you definitely got to have cameras in your car. Okay, I don't want nothing happening to y'all. Okay, I get it. Some of y'all might be like, brother, I got to do what I got to do, but at least try not to be out here at night like that. You know what I'm saying? Try to get your Ubering done in the daytime, and as for that nighttime stuff, you got to do it. Take some security with you, man. I mean, do whatever you got to do. But see, there's also things that I'm going to have to start putting y'all up on that are concealable on your person as far as like different type of self-defense items. So, these are things that you can wear that look like everyday clothing items, but they have self-defense options in them too, okay? So I'm going to just be looking for information like that. I'll probably post some of that on the community tab as much of it as I can. I just want y'all to be safe out here. I really love my people, okay? So with that said, family, I hope y'all got something out of this. I hope it'll be useful to people out here that are in these situations, because nobody should ever have to deal with this in their family and have to get that phone call, man. So we got to protect each other. We got out here today. We still see that, people like Kamala Harris and the current administration, they're definitely not trying to do anything to protect us. This is why we're not trying to support them in any type of way. And when it comes to the other side, the Republican Party, if they want our votes, they're going to have to be concerned with the issues that we have going on, because, see, we're not going to forget those like our sister, okay? Sonia Massey, what happened to her? No, we can't forget that. We're being targeted out here, all right? So do whatever you got to do to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your family, all right? With that said, Black First, salute. Thank you to everybody contributing to the broadcast. I will see you all in future content.